Hi, welcome back. In this video, we're going to talk about two important emotions. One is happiness, and the other one is love. Let's talk about happiness first. What is happiness? Well, happiness is an emotion, actually a primary emotion. But the question is, what makes us happy? Let's do a small task here. I want you to write three things, the things that if I give you right now would make you happy forever. Okay, I hope you did go through and make a list of three items if I give you would make you happy forever. But are you sure you'll be happy forever with those three things? Typically, people give answers like related to relationships or finances. But these are actually not the things that make us happy. In fact, a study conducted by Kahneman and group in 2000s tried to see the relationship between happiness, perceived happiness, and family income. So on the x-axis here, you see the family income less than 20K, 20K, 50K, 90K. And I mean, 20K to 50K, 50 to 90, and so on and so forth. On the y-axis, you see the percentage of individuals with that specific family income reported they were happy, or very happy. As you can see, with the increase in the family income, there definitely is an increase in one's perceived happiness. But once you get to this particular point, which is 78K, family income actually doesn't matter. So income matters, but only so much. So much that it is sufficient for you to live a normal life. So beyond 78K, it doesn't really matter how much you earn. It's like beyond the basic needs, money doesn't buy you happiness. So that's the reason why we see even the successful, rich people um, have issues. Even lottery winners are only transiently happy. They're happy for a moment of time, usually a year or two, and they go back to the normal. Then that begs the question, what makes us happy then? Do our surroundings make us happy? Well, not as much as we think it might. It actually accounts to 10% of our happiness. What determines our happiness then? According to research, 10% of our happiness comes from our material things like your car, your house, your cell phone, your laptop, materialistic things. It accounts for 10%. 50% of our happiness comes from our genetics. It's like a set point. And if you don't do anything intentionally, and if you take away the circumstantial thing, which again changes your happiness on a day-to-day basis, you are set with your genetic set point. In other words, our happiness fluctuates around this genetically predisposed happiness scale we are born with. So we fluctuate around this particular point. But here's the good news. 40% of our happiness is determined by our intentions or our intentional activities. In other words, our happiness is in our hands. Intentional how? What can we do to make our lives happier? One thing research suggests that makes and keeps us happy is constantly committing to goals. It doesn't really matter what the goals are, as long as these goals are meaningful to you, like literally meaningful to you, not your father, not your mother, not your girlfriend, or not your boyfriend, or not your teacher. It's you. As long as what you're committed to is meaningful to you, that keeps you happy. Now think about it for a second. What are some of your happiest moments? Were you pursuing something? Usually, the things you're happy about are the things that you worked really hard towards something. Even if you did not gain or get to where you wanted to, the fact that you worked hard makes you think right now about those experiences, the happiest ones. And especially if the things that you were working really hard were meaningful to you. And if you think about it, our happiness, were you happy for a long time? That situation, usually it's not. We'll talk about it in a second. So, what are some of your unhappy moments? Were you pursuing something? Usually, we feel unhappy about things when we don't pursue something. Was it meaningful to you? And usually, we are unhappy when you're pursuing meaningless things. Things are not meaningful to you, but still you're putting 10, 30 hours a week. And how long was that emotion? Well, our emotions, either positive or negative, are ephemeral. In other words, they're very transient. You experience and you get over it, it's gone. Bottom line, then, to be happy is to do things that make you happy. Follow your dreams, set goals, and commit to the goals. That's what makes us happy. Of course, you'll fail, so don't give up. Get up and keep going. Happiness comes not from material possessions. Happiness doesn't have to sit at the genetic set point. Happiness comes from purpose in life. Really want to really knowing who you are, what you're good at, what you like, and trying to be good at what you like is what makes us happy. Finding purpose in life, finding meaning in life. In fact, in the last unit, we'll talk about meaning in life. And life is actually a search after personal meaning. You can find happiness once you know the meaning in life. You can find meaning, you can find happiness in meaningful work. And there's a video that you'll watch in one of the activities towards the end. You can find happiness in investing time in your family. You can find happiness by doing something good or working for the community you live in. One thing you can do Tony Robbins is this motivational speaker. I like this idea of CANI. CANI is constant and never-ending improvement. So if you commit to constant and never-ending improvement in a specific skill or specific activity you're interested in, let's say you love singing. Well, commit to be making constant and never-ending improvement in singing without any pressure about participation, without any pressure about winning contests. It's just about being a good singer. That constant, never-ending improvement in things you really enjoy the most will actually make you and keep you happy. Well, what is more, if you have many such things that you're really interested in, the more you have, the better and more goals you have to commit to be constant and never-ending improvement in those things. Well, what if we don't like to do something, but we still had to do it anyways, right? Well, your mind really doesn't know the difference between real and fake. Fake that you like it till you make it. That's the expression, right? So there is actually research to support this particular idea. It's called the facial feedback hypothesis. Now, let's do this simple task here. I want you to hold a pencil in your mouth between your lips for 60 seconds, not your teeth. So you're just holding with your lips. Are you ready? Okay, let's try this. Okay, how do you feel now? Well, typically people report that they feel sad, and there's actually an interesting experiment conducted on. So let's try this one now. Hold a pencil between your teeth, like the picture over here, and people report here that they feel happy. Now, the idea here is that your facial expressions when you're holding a pencil with your lips versus between your teeth is this here is similar to being sad versus here it is the expressions are similar to your expressions when you smile. So if you keep smiling, it keeps you happy. Being sad or make sad faces, then you won't be happy. The idea is that your mind doesn't know the difference between the real and fake situation, and you can actually fool it by changing your facial expressions. It's equally true with your body posture, and your body posture change with the state of mind you're in. Usually when you're depressed, when you're anxious, nervous, you usually bend down, curl forward, and you have a very low voice. But when you're happy, confident, your shoulders, they go back and you sit straight and your body posture changes. The opposite is true too. In other words, if you try to keep your posture in a way, then it actually changes your feeling about it. So how your bodily expressions influence your emotions, and your emotions also influence your body posture. But keep smiling, but not any smile. Just put on a smile, but actually give a real smile. Well, according to some research, there is what is called as Dungeon smile. It's a genuine smile, a smile with appropriate facial muscles. Now, tell me, which of these two pictures you think is a picture of this actress with a real smile? Well, you're right. This is the one, right? And this seems like not a genuine smile. This is a genuine smile. The main difference here is, can you guess what the main difference is? Okay, the facial expressions and which part? Especially here, if you see there are more activity here, you can see the wrinkles here more than not wrinkles, but you can see the expressions here, but you don't see any such thing here. Usually in a Dungeon smile, you see activity here, here, and around here. Well, when you talk about smile, you cannot not talk about a Mona Lisa smile. Well, people say it's enigmatic smile, and people actually took time to calculate the proportions of different kinds of emotions based on the facial expressions and the specific muscles that are involved in the smile. And they found that 83% of happiness is what is shown in this figure, The smile in this shows 9% disgust and 6% fear and 2% anger. Well, that's what we got in this video where we talked about happiness. And in the next video, we'll talk about the deepest emotions of all, love.